early morning, let's explore the 26th verse of the Song of Enlightenment and then meditate. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. This is the Lama you are looking for. This live stream is brought to you by the generous patrons. If you wish to support my work as well, simply use your smartphone's camera to capture this QR code or merely click the Patreon link in the description area below the video. This morning, where's the button? This morning we will chant and meditate and enjoy a lesson or two. But first, if you love Star Wars, and you wish to meditate as transformatively as Yoda on Dagobah under the guidance of Qui-Gon Jinn, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. The moment you have a question about Buddhist meditation or Buddhist philosophy or how to apply them, type your very specific question in great detail in the chat window on the right-hand side of the screen. Moon on the water, wind in the pines. Why is the sky so clear all night? The pearl of all Buddha nature shows up in the mind. Mist and clouds shroud the body. Beautiful, yet a trifle cryptic. Let's see if I can flesh this out a little bit. We'll begin with, repeat the first half. Moon on the water, wind on the pines. Why is the sky so clear all night? Living in opposition to the workings of our Buddha nature makes of our life a living hell. Surrendering to the mindfulness of our sympathetic nervous system and the meditation of our parasympathetic nervous system make of our life a heaven on earth. Could that be why Thich Nhat Hanh insisted the Pure Land is now or never? The pearl of all Buddha nature shows up in the mind. Mist and clouds shroud the body. Well, the author of this text may be so poor that his robes are nothing more than mist and cloud. The habit of yielding to his Buddha nature makes him rich in the manner most important. Under the influence of folly, one might view monastic roads as emblematic of importance. However, in the thrall of our Buddha nature, they could feel as not graspable and common as mist or cloud. Now we come to our primary practice. This practice text, or sadhana if you're nasty, is my adaptation of both the Anapanasati Sutta and the Metta Sutta. My nickname for this text is Secular Meditations of Loving Kindness, True Knowledge, and Liberation. This text contains a total of 24 meditations. Now, for five-fingered entities, 24 can feel rather ungainly. So it may be easier to think of it as 6 sets of 4 exercises. Our first set of 4 exercises, For our first set of 4 exercises, we start with Metta Satipatthana's 4 opening contemplations of love. So Satipatthana is a reference to the 4 bases of mindfulness. In this context, the 4 bases would be the circumstantial, the physical, the interpersonal, and the mental. We're going to begin with the circumstantial. We're going to wish that all beings of all worlds, real or imagined, now be lavished with circumstantial good fortune. During the inhalation, we're going to silently and mentally recite the noun boon, which is a monosyllabic synonym for good fortune. And during our exhalation, we're going to silently and mentally recite the noun all. So what we're inferring is that we're wishing that we could give very good fortune to all beings everywhere. So it's kind of like you're at a table and someone asks you to pass the cabbage. So you pick up the cabbage and you hand it to the person who desires it. Similarly, our job right now is not to be Gandalf the Grey, or not to be great sorcerers or magicians. Our job is not to visualize or emote or even believe. What then? What is our job? Simple. We silently and mentally recite these words in harmony with our inhalation and our exhalation and our relaxation. Doing this strengthens the neural pathways responsible for empathy. To put it in, to tie it up in a nice red bow, words guide intention. Intention guides mind. So sit up nice and tall, and let's begin. Sound check. We switch gears from the circumstantial to the physical, wishing that all beings everywhere enjoy optimal health. On the in-breath, we silently and mentally recite the italicized noun health. During the exhalation, we silently and mentally recite the bold word. Inhale the italic, exhale the bold. Please, please, please don't make the mistakes of others. In my youth, when I was in the thrall of hypnosis, I under the mistaken illusion that this exercise could be enhanced with faith and belief and certitude. And I discovered the hard way that belief is rigidity. It is a rigidity of mind and emotion. And rigidity is antithetical to flexibility, just as fear is antithetical to love, and controlling tendencies are antithetical to being laid back. If we want to master the path of peace, we must master the path of surrender. So we're not trying to control what we see or feel or believe. We're simply playing with words in harmony with our inhalation, exhalation, and relaxation in an effort to gently feed our intention. That's it. That's all it is. 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path pertains to love and kindness. If our methods of meditation and contemplation do not make love spontaneous, I'm losing a phrase. The highest love, according to the yogis of Tibet, the highest love, spontaneous. Oh, there's another word I'm missing. It'll come to me. But anyway, if the intention of love does not flow from us easily, then contemplatively speaking, we have taken a wrong turn. Ah, that's the word. Uncontrived. The yogis of Tibet have taught that the highest love is spontaneous and uncontrived. Which makes perfect sense. Let's take a moment to look at a drawing of the brain. So this bit here is our amygdala, our fear center. This bit up here is our anterior cingulate gyrus, our empathy center. When we are stressed, we fall into fear and aggression. A healthy meditation practice is going to help us to reset our mind back to its factory settings and plug into the highest love, spontaneous and uncontrived. If this isn't happening, then the type of meditation we're using is impotent, worthless, and weak. That's okay. We can always find another method from another teacher. There are plenty of them. We come now to the third base of mindfulness, the interpersonal. Let us therefore wish that all beings everywhere enjoy loving relationships. Professionally, personally, platonically, as well as intimately. There are many fools who put blinders on and look at the world through rose-colored glasses, forcing themselves to perceive things the way they would like them to be. The wise exercise the vulnerability of mindfulness to perceive things as they are, whether they are glorious or whether they are grotesque. For the only way to transform something is to recognize its actual needs. Aligning ourselves to the needs of the moment, set ourselves up for great failure. Better, my friends, an ugly truth than a pretty, pretty lie. We come now to the fourth base of mindfulness, where we wish that all minds of all beings now enjoy great wisdom. Wisdom is different from cleverness. When we speak of wisdom, we do not speak of the cleverness to, close a sale or create a longer lasting light bulb, but the wisdom of vulnerability and release. Just as a brisk morning walk could strengthen the cardiopulmonary system, similarly, playing with these intentions strengthens the neural pathways of empathy. While playing with these loving intentions, it is normal and even healthy for our mind to wander. We could notice sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, and scents, and the like. We could also emote, intend, reason, recall, and imagine. You might have recollections of people who've been cruel to you. What finer object is there for you to, or what finer subject for your love is that than those who are so broken they habitually lash out at others? Having exercised our empathy, we should now begin exercising both our mindfulness that notices and our meditation that releases. We shall do that for the next 4 sets of 4 exercises. We start now with our second set of 4 exercises. Kaya Sati's 4 preliminary practices to center our bodies. During our inhalation, we silently and mentally recite the verb breathe. During our exhalation, we silently and mentally recite the adjective long. So here's the deal. This is not the path of forcing, this is the path of allowing. Therefore, we're not going to force ourselves to breathe out in a protected way, but we're going to notice that our exhalations seem to be wired to be long, or at least longer than our inhalations. Consequently, when we cease to fight this propensity to breathe out in a lengthy manner, we could notice how very soothing it is. Let's play with this right now. I'm reminded of a passage in the Christian Gospels where we read Jesus explaining, and I paraphrase, "Do not pour new wine into old wineskins, lest the wineskin burst and the wine be lost. Pour new wine into new wineskins." Similarly, it's not our job to go around as a thought police teaching people how to do things the way we think they should do it. Be impeccable, be loving, and people who are ready will come to you and ask you for advice about the things that you are an expert on. We're not all experts on the same thing. On our second exercise, during our inhalation, we will silently and mentally recite the adjective short. During our exhalation, we will silently and mentally recite the noun breath. Now, we are not forcing our inhalation to be short. We are allowing our body to breathe the way it has evolved to breathe over an ocean of time. Allowing our body to breathe in the manner it has evolved to breathe, we will notice two things. Number one, that our inhalations tend to be shorter than our exhalations. And number two, that allowing our inhalations to be short creates an invigorating effect. I assure you, I'm not so clever as to be the only one to notice this. You can read many meditation manuals that will explain the same thing. We've evolved in such a way as to possess, each of us, an autonomic nervous system. I say each of us, I mean vertebrate life forms. Cephalopods are a bit of a mystery. But us vertebrates, we have an autonomic nervous system. And during our inhalation, we're able to notice we access our sympathetic nervous system, which is wired to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. During our inhalation, we silently and mentally recite the verb taste, which is figurative. It is a metaphor of perception. Remember, we are wired to notice during our inhalations. During our exhalation, we silently and mentally recite the noun form, which is a monosyllabic synonym of bodies. During our next several inhalations, we could silently and mentally recite the noun form, which functions as a synonym for body. During our exhalations, we can silently and mentally recite the verb ease, which is a monosyllabic synonym for relax. Now, here's the really cool thing. We don't have to force our bodies to relax. In fact, it works better if we do not. You see, my friends, the cool irony is this. We evolved in such a way that during every exhalation, we inadvertently access our parasympathetic nervous system, which is already wired for physical relaxation and mental release. All we need to do is align our intention with our factory installed wiring. Sit back and enjoy the show. Now we begin working with our third set of 4 exercises. These exercises will help us to center our feelings. Excuse me. As we breathe in, we can silently and mentally recite the verb grin. And as we exhale, we can silently and mentally recite the noun form. Doing so reminds us to use the corners of our mouth, the apples of our cheeks, and the crow's feet of our eyes to smile at our bodies. Which is very natural to do given the momentum of the previous 8 exercises that we have plugged into. Again, we silently and mentally recite the verb grin as we inhale, but this time as we exhale, we recite the noun thoughts. Now, this word thoughts functions as an umbrella. And during a rainstorm, just as 2 or more friends may huddle under an umbrella to enjoy relative dryness during a downpour. Under the umbrella of thoughts, we find our capacity to emote, intend, reason, recall, and imagine. Now, these are things we often feel animosity towards. Some emotions are glorious, some are grotesque, some we want to savor, some we wish to shun. We are taking our first step on the path of accepting difficult experiences, which is the key to meaningful peace. Welcome to the live stream. Good morning. When you feel you have a question about Buddhist meditation or Buddhist philosophy or how to apply them, immediately type your very specific question in great detail in the chat window. We come to the third exercise in our third set of 4 exercises. During our inhalation, we silently and mentally recite the verb feel, which acts as a metaphor of perception or noticing. Remember, during each inhalation, we are wired to access our sympathetic nervous system, which evolved to perceive vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. So the perception that we are wired for is not the rigid contrivance of concentration, but the spacious spontaneity of mindfulness. As we breathe in, we silently and mentally recite the verb feel. As we breathe out, we silently and mentally recite the noun thoughts. Remember, thoughts is an umbrella term encompassing our ability to emote, intend, reason, recall, and imagine. All that messy stuff. Coming to the fourth exercise of our third set of exercises. During our inhalation, we silently and mentally recite the noun thoughts. During our exhalation, we silently and mentally recite the verb ease, which is synonymous with relaxing. Remember, this is possible because during each exhalation, whether we know it or not, we are accessing our parasympathetic nervous system, which is evolved for both physical relaxation as well as mental release. So we're not forcing relaxation, we are allowing our parasympathetic nervous system to do its job, and we are getting out of the way. So we're not forcing our emotions, intentions, cognitions, memories, or imaginings to relax. We are allowing them. Big difference. We come now to our fourth set of 4 exercises, where we continue with Chitta Sati's practices to center our minds. You might say, we just play with our thoughts. This is even subtler than that. As we breathe in, we silently and mentally recite the verb watch, which is a metaphor of noticing. As we exhale, we silently and mentally recite the noun mind, which is another umbrella term. This time it's an umbrella term for our capacity to see, hear, feel, taste, smell, and the like. Remember, we are already wired, thanks to our sympathetic nervous system, to notice as we breathe in. It would be folly to say, thoughts are bad, mind is good. It's bad to emote, intend, reason, recall, and imagine, but it's great to see, hear, feel, taste, and smell. No. We evolved all these capacities for very good reasons. Our job is not to be controlling, but to be allowing. Here in the second exercise, in our fourth set of exercises, during our inhalation, we silently and mentally recite the verb grin. During our exhalation, we silently and mentally recite the noun mind. Doing so can help us to accept whatever we perceive, be it glorious or grotesque. We squander so much energy living in resistance to our perceptions. The peace that the Buddha offers us is not the peace of the absence of perceptions, but the peace of the absence of resistance to our perceptions. That's the peace of liberation. We come now to the third exercise of the fourth set. During our inhalation, we silently and mentally recite the noun mind. During our exhalation, we silently and mentally recite the verb ease. Remember, thanks to our parasympathetic nervous system, we are already wired to physically relax and mentally release in harmony with each exhalation. Therefore, it is both redundant and counterproductive to force ourselves to relax, but we can allow ourselves to relax. We come now to the fourth exercise of our fourth set of exercises. During the inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the noun mind, which is an umbrella term for our capacities to see, hear, feel, taste, smell, and the like. During our exhalation, we can silently and mentally recite the verb free, which is a synonym for liberating. And as we play with this, we could feel greater and greater freedom from our subtle controlling tendencies to label everything and everyone all the time. We come now to our fifth set of 4 exercises where we begin to explore impermanence. The Buddha taught that in the mud following a monsoon or generated by a monsoon, we can see footprints of various animals. And the largest footprint that we see in the mud is that of an elephant. Similarly, there are many things we can contemplate, but nothing leaves an impression as big as impermanence. We're going to play with first of 4 rhetorical questions. During the inhalation, let us silently and mentally recite what? During our exhalation, let's silently and mentally recite change, remembering that by definition, it is not our task to answer a rhetorical question, but merely to ask it. In this case, we're going to ask the 2 components of this rhetorical question in harmony with our inhalation and our exhalation and our relaxation. We come to the second exercise of our 5th set of exercises. We play with the rhetorical question, what fade? Our third rhetorical question, what cease? Our fourth and final rhetorical question is what yield? We're using yield as a synonym for relinquish, release, or surrender. We come to our concluding set of 4 exercises where we blend kindness and ethics, wishing that each being's mind fills with kind intentions, kind wishes. Some people talk of the 5 vows, or the 8 vows, or the 250 vows, but the Buddha taught no vows at the very beginning. He simply taught the Eightfold Path with kind intention, kind communication, kind conduct, and kind commerce. And that was enough. Vows are about fear and pride. It's better to allow our actions to flow from a place of love, spontaneous and uncontrived, without concern of punishment or reward. Otherwise, we're swapping just one form of slavery for another, and nobody wants that. Let us wish that all beings communicate with the utmost of kindness. The highest kindness, which is spontaneous, uncontrived, having its roots in effective meditation. So we're not trying to change what we believe. We're not trying to change what we feel. We're simply exercising our intention, the same way we might exercise with push-ups or pull-ups or deep knee bends. Let us lovingly wish that each being's behaviors are kind. We conclude by lovingly wishing that each being use their circumstance in the kindest way. What could that look like? Well, it would look like not being a controlling Karen, not being a competitive Chad, but instead being a cooperative Bodhisattva. My friends, thank you for hanging out. If you feel that I have earned it, please type something in the chat window, give this live stream a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. If you wish to support my work, you're welcome to use your smartphone's camera to capture this QR code, or simply click the Patreon link in the description area below the video. In approximately 2 2/3 hours, I will return to lead today's mid-morning meditation. Until then, may you and yours be happy and healthy. And if you are as geeky as me, this is the way.